Boys, what's good? It's Herm. We're here with more breaking trade news as Jrue Holiday is a Boston Celtic. You heard that right. The Celtics have traded for Jrue Holiday, giving up Maclomg Brogdon, Robert Williams, and 2 first-round picks to the Portland Trail Blazers. A lot of people thought that the Celtics were one of the best fits, and I think it's undisputed that they were. I think it's a great fit for Boston. This is exactly what they need. They get Porzingis in that Smart deal, and then they get a defense first point guard like Smart in Jrue Holiday, who's kind of just a better version of what Marcus Smart is. So they get Jrue Holiday in there. They have Tatum, and they have Brown, and they have Porzingis, and it's just a great team. The Celtics are going to be one of the best teams in the East. They saw the Bucks make the trade for Damian Lillard, and they said, okay, we need to take a step forward again, because a lot of people thought it was still the Bucks and the Celtics are the best 2 teams in the East, but a lot of people were saying that the Bucks were the best team. So the Celtics said, okay, we're going to crack down and we're going to get Jrue Holiday, an all-star from last season, who's one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire NBA. We're going to add him to our squad and run out probably a starting lineup, something like Jrue Holiday, both the Jays, Al Horford at the 4, and then Porzingis at the 5, or flip them, whichever, it doesn't really matter. But all of a sudden, these teams have gotten really good really quickly. The Celtics and the Bucks are having an arms race in the Eastern Conference. A lot of people question if the Trailblazers would be interested in making this kind of deal because they already got DeAndre Ayton in the last trade. So Robert Williams is undoubtedly like the highest upside player in this deal, potentially the most impactful player in this deal, and he has history playing alongside another big before. He's played with Horford for years now, but a lot of people wondered if they would really be interested in doing that if you're Portland. But Robert Williams, still relatively young, Maclomg Brogdon, a great developing guard, in terms of leadership, who can help develop the young guys like Scoot, like Shaedon Sharpe, like Anthony Simons. Maclomg Brogdon will be very valuable to them in that aspect, and Robert Williams can be a huge piece for them going forward. But I'll be interesting to see how they work Rob, Will, and Ayton together. What's going to be the move there? So let's look at the potential lineup, starting with the Celtics, because I think the Celtics are the biggest thing here. So I think they start Jrue Holiday at the 1. I think is overwhelmingly likely. They did lose a little depth, losing 2 rotation pieces and getting 1 back, but they're still going to be very good. I don't even think that's debatable. I think they kept Derrick White, actually, so they can start Derrick White alongside and just run out the most devastating starting lineup arguably in the entire league, with Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, and then Porzingis at the 5. The Celtics just got very, very good very quickly, and honestly, I'm impressed. I am impressed. I don't really know what else there's to say besides that this is extremely impressive, and it's going to be very big for them. So probably Sam Hauser in here somewhere. Ashe Brissett is probably going to be a rotational guy here, if I can spell his name right. I think it's 2 S's too. And then we're going to run Lamar Stevens in here as a backup guard, who they just signed as well, former Cav, played a lot of minutes for the Cavs last year. And then Peyton Pritchard is probably the backup 1. So you look at your top 10 for the Celtics, your first 2 units, you're starting Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. I think this is probably the best starting lineup in the entire NBA. When you look at the Bucks, they have a really good top 4, but then that 5th starter is kind of up in the air. But the Celtics have 5 very, very good starters, and I think it's really huge for them. And then I like their bench unit. A lot of people will say that they don't have a ton of depth, and their 6th man is probably an aging Al Horford, but I like Brissett, I like Stevens, I like Jordan Walsh, a guy they drafted in the 2nd round this year. I think the Celtics have a little more depth than people want to give them credit for. But then you look at the Blazers, what are they trying to do? Probably Scoot Henderson is still your starting point guard. They drafted him 3rd overall. He's supposed to be the huge piece for the team going forward. I think Anthony Simons is still the 2 guard right now. I think they're going to try both of them together. Try Shaedon Sharpe at the 3. Jeremy Grant will still be there at the 4. And then you run DeAndre Ayton at the 5. Probably Robert Williams is the backup 5, I would say right now. I'm interested to see if they'll run much of Ayton and Williams together, because Ayton doesn't really have as much experience playing with other big men like Robert Williams does. But maybe Chauncey Billups and the crew over there try something like that and just try to mix it up with more different big men. But then they have Maclomg Brogdon as a backup guard here. And I mean, they lost a lot of players. They traded Dame away. They've now traded Jrue Holiday. They lost Nasir Little. They lost Keon Johnson. So there are a few guys there that they are losing. But I think their starting five is going to stay the same even with this deal going down. And then you have Brogdon and Williams off the bench. I'm not too interested in diving deep into the Blazers depth chart just because I don't think the Blazers are really going to be trying to compete this year. I think that they're going to be a little better than people expected maybe because they kept a lot of talent. They still have Simons, who could be an all-star. They have Jeremy Grant with all-star upside. They have DeAndre Ayton with all-star upside. Robert Williams someday could be a very high-level presence, has already proven to be one of the best defensive players in the league when healthy. I believe he was top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting when Marcus Smart won it because their defense was so good and both guys were so good. But Robert Williams, great defensive presence, really gives you kind of like a different vibe from what you get from Ayton. And then with the Celtics, again, I love this for them. I think it might make them the favorite in the East and maybe the favorite in the whole league. It's interesting because they saw what the Bucks did and they said, let me act on it. And I'm impressed. I think it's huge. I think this is very, very like changing for the league kind of and just the Celtics altogether. Their team is a little less injury prone now, getting rid of Robert Williams and Brogdon, who both struggled with injuries. Jrue Holiday been pretty durable. They still have Porzingis, who's going to have some injury concerns, but with Porzingis healthy, and he's really the only health wild card here now, if he's healthy, the Celtics might be the best team in the league. So let me know your thoughts, what you think of the trade. This is just some initial reactions, and the Rob, Will, and Ayton fit is going to be interesting to keep an eye on, and the Celtics starting lineup might be the best lineup in the entire league. But let me know your thoughts. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 11K. Thanks for watching. That's it for me. See ya.